Hi. I always forget that this thing is on. Okay, let me start adding folks. Just invited Tia. Let me see if you could do all this at the same time. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Greetings.
Greetings. I'm bringing up Tesha at the same time. Oh, I'm just loving your hair. You see, I had to cover mine up because mine look a hot mess. Look how y'all got y'all hair does.
Simone, you look cute. Hi, Ìyá.
Hello.
Okay.
Greetings. How are you?
Hi,
I'm good.
Tesha. I love your hair. I love both of y'all hair at
Thank
this time.
you.
Thank
Good.
you.
How y'all feeling?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all right. So I am in the dining room right now. So y'all might hear the dogs barking, people in and out. But this has the best lighting right now. And so all right, let's go. Because I told Tesha 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
But
Sounds
if I don't know, we'll just let it flow. But we don't go over an hour anyhow. So anyhow, Tesha, the floor is yours. Oh look, my niece is joined. Hi, Natalia.
my son is here too. One of
Oh,
my sons.
Judah, yes, I see him.
Hi, Judah.
Oh, we got the young people in the house. My niece is
Yeah.
going to be like, why are you calling my name? All right, I'm going to give the floor to Tesha. Let her do her thing. And then we go from there.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Tesha. I'm a wellness artist, postpartum doula, certified meditation teacher, and I'm currently on assignment from Spirit. This has led me to Ìyá Simone and by extension, Ìyá Michelle. Between Spirit, Ìyá Simone, and Ìyá, I've been trusted to moderate this evening and share space across the social media platforms. Between them, they wear many hats. Ìyá Simone is a spiritualist, a medium, an intuitive healer who offers spiritual guidance on a personal, professional, and spiritual life. Simone has a diverse range of clients and has more than 15 years of experience. A path that has led her, 15 years of experience walking the path, a path that has led her to connect with Ìyá Michelle and birthing sacred conversations with the ancestors. Ìyá Michelle is a Lukumi priest, a licensed mental health practitioner, a certified life coach, and an Orisha dancer. Ìyá has also published a book, which I do have to hand. And if you haven't got it already, I would implore you to go to the link in her bio and purchase a copy. It's also available here in the UK through UK's Amazon. This evening, the ears will be sharing the journey of sacred conversations with our ancestors, a spiritual retreat which takes place on the island of Barbados, where Simone resides. Whilst this is social media, I'd like to remind you all that this is still a sacred space. Please be mindful of how you interact with each other, how you interact with myself, and how you interact with the ears. Ìyá Simone, Ìyá, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I feel when you're introducing us, I feel like if I'm listening to my daughter.
That was
And
beautiful.
I'm in here like, and there's an energy. You see, I have a market lady here, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I purposely put her there. I don't know why, but she reminds me like she could be Cuban or something.
Yeah.
But I was feeling like this woman behind me jumping up saying she belongs to me. She belongs to me. When Tesha was speaking, yes. Yeah, she belongs to me. She belongs to me. And like they're so, and I felt the energy too. That's why I said what I said. they're so proud, like how she's speaking and presenting herself. Very proud of you.
Yeah, I feel the same way when she speaks. I'm like,
Oh, yes.
oh, I'm
Yes.
so proud too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And EXA, I'm super shy. I'm an extra introvert. So spaces like this are completely outside of my comfort zone. But I know that my birth chart speaks to it as well. So I know I have to step into
Beautiful.
my purpose.
Beautiful. You know,
Wonderful.
I'm shy too, believe it or not.
Yes.
I'm
Mm.
shy too. So
But
this
in
is
private space, like when we get together, when we have our off hours with the retreat, we're a riot. So, but although she's right, she's outside, she's quiet, but then behind closed doors where she's comfortable, we have a
yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So this evening we are going to talk about this retreat we are hosting in Barbados, May 4th to May 8th. This is our third retreat. We had two in 2022. The first one in May was planned. The second one in October, I was just like told, this is what you got to do. And it did what it was supposed to do, right? And so we're going back to May this year. It will always be the first weekend in May until it is not anymore, right? That's the designated time. And so I want to share with you a little history, a short history, because it is short. You know, May will be a year this has been happening, of sacred conversations with our ancestors. This all came about because of my laziness, actually. I did not want to get into the business of planning events again. That was part of my last job where I worked. And, you know, it was planning events across the different cities across the US, but mainly in New York. And it was surrounded with a lot of promotions and marketing and PR and, you know, high-end five-star restaurants and hotels. And I was just over that. So, you know, this lady, she approached me. She said, well, Simone, you know, I will just plan all of them and you just show up. I was like, I got it. But, you know, Spirit stepped in and that didn't materialize. We're still good friends, but that did not materialize. And they said, well, you got to do your own, because you will never find a space that you're going to be comfortable with to speak to what we want you to talk about, to create the energy that we need you to create and the message we need you to deliver to, you know, the participants. You have to do it. And so the planning began. And then I was like, well, who am I going to do this with? And I had a list. I don't even think I told you, famous. I had a list of individuals, mainly women, that I was considering. And it was my grandmother who came and said, well, I don't know what you're doing with all these other people, but she has to be there, meaning Ife. And I said, well, if she's going to be there, nobody else can be there, because it don't make any sense. Like, you know, this is it. This is the team, right? This is it. So, you know, I sent her a formal letter, and she, of course, consulted with her higher-ups as well. And she came on board. And this is what it has been ever since. You know, I had to come up with a name. I went through sacred conversations with our ancestors, sacred ancestors, sacred. I went through like a gamut of names. And then it settled on this one, right? Then I had to find a resort. And I knew the resort that was perfect for this. And when I did the tour of it, Spirit said, okay, this is where it's going to be, right? Mm-hmm. And everything was in alignment as to how this retreat, and they didn't want me calling it a retreat either. We call it ancestral experience, was going to unfold, because everything was intentional. There is nothing that is a part of this ancestral experience that is not a directive from Spirit, whether they speak through me or they speak through Ife Michelle. So you ask me anything about this and why we do what we do, there is an explanation for it. And there's a reasoning behind that, because I must be able to tell you why you are being led to be in this space. why you are being led to pay your money to fly out to Barbados to participate in this. It has to make sense to you. And if my explanation don't make any sense to you, or if Michelle talks about it, it doesn't make any sense to you, that means you're not supposed to be here. And it's that simple, right? I have had folks come and say, well, I need to do a reading on this. I said, well, go ahead and do the reading. You know, if spirit tells you you're not supposed to be here, well, then that's the case. But if you're supposed to be here, the doors are going to open up to make it happen for you, right? So originally we went to 3 days, and then we moved it to 4 days, right? And the 4 days was to incorporate a little downtime on the West Coast, because where we're staying on the East Coast, the ocean is very rough, and that's the Atlantic Ocean. So we incorporated an extra day where we go to the other side of the island, and you know, you can actually go into the water and relax and have a good time. So we stuck with that. And then we've added another piece to it too, because we've added another Ìyá to the fold. One day, right, Yefe?
Right.
One day.
Right.
Is she in here yet? One day, we're going to get her on a live.
Yeah, I meant to
One
have
day. You were in the room. What did you say, Yefe?
I was going to have her picture and hold it up.
Yeah, right. But you were in the room, Tesha, and I kept saying, "Is she coming? Is she getting?" Do you remember that, Tesha?
Yeah.
Right. It was her. Yeah. So we're working on that. But anyhow, for the retreat, we incorporate, the focus is ancestral veneration. That's it, right? Ancestral veneration, and you get there. We have a smoke cleanse and a bush bath and oil anointing. We have the herbs set up for you that you intuitively pick based on what spirit your intuition speaks to you, what you need in this bath, right? So we have a whole day of going through those rituals. We also have a workshop with Ìyá Michelle where we talk about mental health and spirituality. And that gets pretty intense. And so that is why afterwards, we just go down to the ocean on the other side and we just lay low. We also have a workshop with me where we talk about ancestral veneration, and we discuss the herbs and why these herbs were picked for you. We have 2 yoga sessions on Saturday morning and Sunday morning. And then we also have all meals prepared by a chef. That's Chef Dame Sandler. And anyone who has been to these last 2 retreats would tell you what an amazing chef he is. The food is amazing. Nobody misses breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Nope.
Nobody.
Nope.
They don't. That is the highlight from the time they taste Dane's food. That is the highlight of the experience for them. Because, of course, we're dealing with spiritual individuals who may or may not have been initiated, and their dietary restrictions. So he understands what that is. And especially for myself and Ìyá Ife and also Ìyá Josie, we have our taboos. So, you know, we had to explain to him, well, certain foods cannot go into certain things because we can't eat it. And him and I actually had a discussion about that, because he was like, well, Simone, what is these taboos that I'm hearing about? So that was it. And so, you know, when you come in for the ancestral experience, there's someone to greet you at the airport. As soon as you exit the plane and you walk into the building, there will be a sign up saying Sacred Conversations with Our Ancestors. That will be your greeter. And that person escorts you through the airport, through immigration, through customs, pick up your luggage if you check in any luggage, and they escort you out to your vehicle to bring you up to the resort. You see me at the resort. You don't see me at the airport, because I'm at the resort making sure everything is prepared for you. Once you get to the resort, you just focus on your ancestral veneration. That's it. You don't worry about anything else. We are secluded. We're up a tiny hill, locked, you know, put away, and there's no restaurants to walk to. There's no bars. There's no nothing. There's no distractions. We also ask that our participants wear all white, right? So we're not distracted too by color, because, you know, color attracts all kind of energy. So there are different things that we insist on for the retreat. For more information on that, you can go to my website, which is on my profile. There's a link there, and it says Sacred Conversations with Our Ancestors. Once you press into it, and that gives you a listing of everything that is required, what the fees are, the room rates, everything is on there. Just to let you know, the upper level rooms are sold out. That's done. That's over it. So right now we only have garden rooms and we have 1-bedrooms. Each room is single occupancy or double occupancy. What that means is you can have the room for yourself and pay for the entire room for single occupancy. For double occupancy, you can share the room with someone and you guys split the cost of that room. However, for the ancestral experience, it's per person. So I'll end there, and I would allow Iya Ife Michelle to speak.
Yes. So, welcome everyone. I'm so happy I'm seeing all these names pop on the screen. It's so nice to have, and I see some of our fellow folks in
Yes, I
live
see
as
that.
well. Yeah, so it's definitely nice to have all of you here. So, I have to just say that it is an honor and I'm not saying it just because you hear Ìyá Simone. It is an absolute honor to work with this woman. Absolutely. And, I just appreciate all the work that you do and the impact that you're having and the movement that you're creating. I feel like our ancestors are rejoicing with the work that you are doing and you continue. So it is an honor to be here. It's an honor to be by your side. It's an honor to work with you. So, and I love your granny for suggesting.
She adores you.
So, yes. So me and granny, I love her. So, but yes, so I host or facilitate rather, the mental health and spirituality piece, in which I focus on ways to understand mental health through spirituality. And not only mental health, but mental health wellness, as well as mental health conditions, mental health illness through the lens of spirituality. And so, we focus on the roles of our ancestors and the ways in which we can tap into ancestral wisdom, not necessarily just ancestral trauma, right? Because a lot of times we focus on, the ancestral trauma that's passed on and the intergenerational cycles that we're trying to break, right? But it's also important to, focus on the ancestral wisdom, that which our ancestors left us, that are the keys to really understanding the way that, our mental health is, evolves and is a part of our lives. And so, we really take a look at, ways to really incorporate ancestral healing within the mental health practice. And, each participant is given an opportunity to really share what they feel and the experiences that they've had. We've had some really, really amazing, stories and shares that have really, I think, impacted me. I mean, I have left feeling so inspired, but also I think, it has provided everyone with a sense of, with a sense of understanding and a sense of connection. So, from these sessions and from these gatherings, from these ancestral gatherings, Ìyá Simone is really building communities, which has been really beautiful to witness. And then these communities continue because, we're coming up on the first anniversary, right? Yeah. I didn't realize when you talked about May, I'm thinking, well, this May will be the first anniversary. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, we've had 2 groups of fabulous women who are still in communication. Like there's still community around these experiences. Mm-hmm. So the ancestral healing continues even after you leave. Mm-hmm. We remain in contact with everyone. There's a community that is formed the support continues. Like you really are able to feel the way in which the ancestors continue to do the work even after we are done, you know? And that's a beautiful thing to witness, to see how everyone's ancestors are actively participating in the healing of each participant. And, you know, and that's the magic. So it's not just about the experience. It's not just about the 3 or 4 days. This is something that continues and extends beyond that. And I think that's important to also mention. So, and Ìyá Simone, you know, goes above and beyond to make sure that these experiences are amazing. So I just really appreciate that. And just want to mention it. So yes, I see some of our people there commenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlene popped in. Sonia is there. Dominique is there. Tyra is there. You're going to see all the past participants. They're talking about it. And they even, the 2 groups, the group and the October group, they already talking about reunions.
Yeah.
And going to other places. And the first group is talking about a 5-year reunion. And they all getting back together with an update, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
I think it's pretty Irish. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yes.
Someone asked what is the age limit, and that is something I never thought about, to be honest. But 18 and up. 18 is good, or 21? I'm listening. That's why I pause.
Yeah. I guess it depends on, you know, I guess 18 are legal, but.
Yeah, but let's stick to odd number, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, 21 and up. Someone also mentioned that they wish they could bring their daughter. Unfortunately, at this time, we cannot have children. However, we did discuss, Iya Ife and I did discuss having something for girls statewide, right? So that is something that we have discussed, not in depth, but it is being considered. I wouldn't have your children fly out to a foreign country, although some people wouldn't mind. I mean, my mother shipped me off one time. We really went to Guadeloupe or somewhere for a few weeks on a student exchange. But it was something we thought about and kind of discussed, but we'll do it statewide. So, but at this time, to have children, we really can't accommodate children at this time. But for teenagers, there's a discussion to have something statewide. So we'll see. Plus, too, we really want that when you come, that you focus on you. And that is very important because there's a lot of downtime during the retreat. And I emphasize all the time, do not allow that time to just waste away. Spend time journaling, spend time meditating, spend time grounding. The resort is ideal for all of those things. You could go any time of the night, any time of the morning. Each room has either a little patio, or if you are higher up, it has a balcony where you can sit out and just allow the wind, the elements of the country and that sea breeze to come in, take your messages and send them right back out. Like I said in my write-up, and some of you may already know, the resort is facing the Atlantic Ocean. And the reason why we picked that space is because if you sail from that point on the east coast of Barbados, across the Atlantic Ocean, you can get into West Africa without seeing landmass. So we're pulling all of that energy from the Atlantic Ocean where some of our ancestors are buried, right? Plus two, those are the ones that we don't know. And we're connecting with them. And also reconnecting with the ones that we do know that have passed on. Trust and believe. Before you guys get here, your ancestors are already on this island. And I start getting, if they would tell you, some of the participants would tell, one person, I ain't gonna call no names, her grandmother showed up days before she's supposed to arrive with instructions for her. I've had people's parents show up. Simone, we want them to do this, 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 tell them this, 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 and we are here. And I can actually see them all dressed up and ready. So this is why when you get here, it is just time for you to do the work. You don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about your food, your meals, transportation. All of that is taken care of. All I need you to do is to focus on connecting with your ancestors and connecting with your higher self too. Mm-hmm. Right? This is not a get lit event. There's no alcohol. Zero. Right? So do not expect that. That's not what this is about. And I tell people straight, if you decide to go off on your own, you're on your own. But it's pretty dark out there, so I don't think you can do that. Right? But this is a serious space. And I've created the environment, and the ancestors have created the environment for you to do what you need to do. Because when you go back, it's not going to be the same.
Yes.
Trust and believe. It is not going to be the same. You either get it or you don't. It's as simple as that. Right? So, yeah, that's where we are.
I just want to add to Iya that you know, just to kind of follow up with what you mentioned, there's a lot of time for introspection.
Yes.
You know, a lot of time for introspection, and I think that, you know, those who've participated really appreciate that.
Yes.
You're able to take the medicine and then integrate it, and then you're surrounded by so many elements that help to support that. Mm-hmm. There's very little distractions. The distractions are that of nature.
Yes.
The distractions are beautiful.
Do you remember that night when the rain came down here?
Yes, Lord, yes.
To me, I rolled my bed so hard under the comforter. I was like, sleep. But before I did, I even went outside and I acknowledged the energy.
Yes.
And when I went out in the balcony, when I looked to my left, I think you were, I don't remember if you were out, but I think Ìyá Josephine was outside. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was major rain,
yes,
wind. It was nuts, but it was beautiful.
Beautiful. Yes. Those are the distractions that you'll encounter is the beauty of nature, the wind, the sea, you know,
yes,
mountains, you know.
Yes. Well, not mountains, hills. Because Barbados don't have any mountains.
Listen, compared to St. Croix, I got mountains. That's mountains to me. But it's flat.
Yeah.
You know, we have hills, but for me, Barbados look like a lot of
mountains. Yeah, when you pack, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, but the beauty of the island, and I mean, I'm from the islands, born and raised, and Barbados is definitely one of the most beautiful islands I have ever seen. So, you know, what I appreciate also is the ways in which the work is done reminds me of our grandmothers. Uh-huh. You know, the way in which the work is done reminds me of the ways in which the indigenous mothers worked, utilizing elements, you know, to help to promote healing, but also to enhance the connection with spirit and to the connection with our ancestors.
Correct.
And so everything that is done, everything that Ìyá Simone coordinates is intentional. And as she says, it's spirit-led. Everything is spirit-led. And so some things I know even may change last minute, depending on if your people tell you, switch or do this different, right? Or try this. Or So it's really intuitively guided. Yes, an amazing experience.
Yeah, all the herbs too that we use for the bush baths and the smoke rituals are collected either the morning of the day before. Can't be the morning of, the day before. So it is like you're just I don't buy herbs from the store. I don't bring in herbs from anywhere else. I go in people's gardens and and I pick. I have a whole list of the herbs that are available to me, and I may scan that list and spirit may say, okay, bring this, bring that, bring that, bring this. And that's it. Right? And all that is laid out on the table and you go and pick. But everything is taken up. And that in itself is a ritual, because I have to go into these spaces and ask permission to pick these people things. And I'm not talking about the owner of the land. I'm talking about the plant or the spice, right? Everything, or the root, everything I go and I grab. And if I don't get it from someone's garden, I go to the market to get it, right? So you come and you're able to actually smell the herbs for themselves and see that they were just picked, right? And all this is used in your bush bath cleansing, your oil anointing, and your smoke rituals. And that after that is we all gather, and that is when spirit shows up and start to speak. I'm not going to go in too much into that because that is the sacred part of the ancestral experience. If you would realize that, you know, we don't show a lot in our video. We don't. Because it is sacred for a reason.
Right.
It's in the name. So you will never see on the Simone Arthur or even on the Ìyá Michelle, I show you somebody taking a bath, or I'm showing you they doing a smoke cleanse, because those are very sacred and intimate and private spaces. You may see me mixing the water, you may see me burning some of the herbs, but you will never see the work that we do around that. And the cameraman is aware of that too.
Right. We tell him.
He knows. He's like, all right, I'm out, gone by. He's not even he's not even on the property. He's not on the property. So I know, some of the spaces, to sell their event, they will show certain things, and that may be told for them to do. That's fine. But our instructions is that remains sacred, because it's a very intimate space and a very intimate experience. And people's stuff shows up. So we as spiritualists have to be grounded and spiritually aware in what we are doing so we can respond accordingly. And I have to worry about the cameraman looking left or right. No, he gone. He off the premises. Right? The 2 yoga sessions is by Lana Seeley. She is amazing. Again, all of these vendors that I work with, all their information is on the webpage, Sacred Conversations with Our Ancestors, and it leads you to their website or their social media platform where you can, read up more about them. But Lana has fused yoga with Pilates. So on Saturday morning and Sunday morning, you get up 6 o'clock in the morning before breakfast, and she stretches you out for an hour. And everybody always goes back with knowing how to move their body differently after working with Lana, right? The rituals are going to be done by myself. The cleansing rituals will be done by myself, Ìyá Ife, Ìyá Josephine, and another young lady that has come under our fold. Her name is Maya. So the other thing about this part, I want you guys to realize that has kind of come up with the work that Ìyá Ife and I are doing, is that we're bringing all of these young spiritualists in at different points to work with us. Case in point, Tesha, right? And let me tell you something, to be able to, and I'm getting goosebumps by saying this, but to be able to sit in these spaces with spiritual individuals like ourselves is important and is necessary, and you should appreciate it. I'm not saying that to you, Tesha, but just understand the importance of it, because you're also getting from our energy in the work that you're going to be doing. So we recognize that we have these different individuals with the different projects that we're working on coming on board with us. We have Tesha here when we're doing our lives, whether it's here on Clubhouse, she sits with us. Maya, she came on board with me to help me gather herbs, and I know she has moved up to working with us in these spiritual spaces. We have Dominique will be working with us on a project. Sonia, she's come on board and she helps me with a lot of this back end stuff that we're doing. So you'll recognize that there's always someone there in the wings, learning and working with us. Because just now, Ife and I, all we're going to be doing is going to exotic places for vacations. And we ain't going to have time for this anymore.
That sounds lovely. But you know, even if we go to exotic places for vacation, Spirit gonna still have us walking. They don't let you sleep. They don't let you take a...
Stop!
Just when you want to take a vacation, they're like this on your shoulder.
Yeah. But this is what is happening to me right now, because you know I had a birthday the first week in January.
Yeah. Happy birthday again. Let's say happy birthday.
I had a ball. I had a blast. And then it's like I took this thing into the Monday and Tuesday. So it's like, okay, well, you know, we got to get back to work now. Party's done. It's time to move on, Simone, because I was having a real hard time adjusting to get back to the normal life of just like doing my schedules and setting up everything. But yeah, I like the fact that this has opened up for, you know, young spiritualists coming so they can be in these spaces and learn, because the Spirit speaks to them too and tell us certain things. So yeah, that piece is important. So Tesha, you have any? Oh, go ahead, Iya. Sorry.
I wanted to mention, because you talked about this young spiritualists and those that are coming in. And I think also those that participate also have an opportunity to really learn how to trust their own intuition.
Correct.
Like they learn. So not only do you develop sacred conversations with your ancestors, not only do you learn how to address mental health through the lens of spirituality, but you also get an opportunity to learn how to understand and trust in your own intuitive process.
Correct.
And so I believe that those that participate leave feeling more empowered. They feel more empowered and more secure in their spirituality. Yes. So you don't come and leave feeling dependent on that which you were given. It's like you're given tools to be able to then go back home and utilize the tools in a way that helps to, again, you know, expand your experience ancestrally and yeah. So, you know, I wanted to also mention that the intuitive process as well is really important. That they get a lot of support with that, you know, during.
Yeah. Yes. I also know it is a very aligned space too, because we've had circumstances where two people dream about the same energy, the same night. Remember that, Ian?
The first time, our first one. Not to mention, the group is so different, you know?
Yes.
It's been very distinct, and we adjust. Our spirits help us to adjust to the ways in which to support the groups. But yes, that first night, the first night, the next morning, we woke up and several of us had similar experiences in our own room.
They had visitors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice visitors.
Yes. Yes. So expect that to happen as well, that you will all start to become, you know, tuned with each other, and you may share similar experiences, and all of that is discussed in the open. You know, it's a sacred space, confidentiality, all that is in place, but expect that you guys will start to, you know, kind of travel on each other's path and come back with also messages for each other. And there's a rule for that too. You're not allowed to, participants are not allowed to give spiritual messages to each other. You first have to discuss them with either myself or Ife Michelle or Josephine. And then we would decide how to approach it, because we still have to remember this is some sensitive spaces. And, you know, our intuitive energy is like at a peak. So, you know, everything is open and messages will be coming from all over. So we just need to kind of rein that in a bit and, you know, be mindful of, you know, what people may be experiencing and how they may or may not receive the information. Right? So is that key rule there. On the Sunday, the night before you leave, the evening before you leave, we gather because we have a communal altar. So every morning before we eat, well, every time there's breakfast or lunch or dinner, we say a prayer and give an offering at the communal altar. So the evening before we, the Sunday evening, we all gather and we each take an offering from the communal altar, and we walk down to the Atlantic Ocean, which is just like a 3-minute walk. And ahead of us, when you watch the videos, we are led by the drummers and by me ringing the bell. And that bell is to let the ancestors know we're coming. Let spirit guides know we're coming. The Orishas know we're coming. We're coming at the shore, right? And while we're there, you just spread out along the shore, you give your offering, and you say your prayers. We've decided that we would add a piece to that afterwards, because we recognize that we kind of need to, after that experience, kind of sit in a communal setting and kind of discuss how we are going to go forward. So that is a new element to it that we have added, and that piece will be led by Josephine. Spirit had come to me and told me that they wanted her to do something. I had something else in mind, but I can't remember what it was. But when we had the conversation, she said this part was coming to her. So when we get back, and I think it'll be just before dinner, we will have that discussion as to the way forward. What do you do next, right? Because, you know, we give you the information, the ancestors come and give you the information, but now you have to go back into the real world and use that to keep you going and to keep everything on the up and up. So that is another piece that has been added. Tesha, you wanted to ask us anything? Anything?
So for anyone who's watching the live or watching on replay and they're just starting out on their journey, who are the ancestors and why is it important that we're venerating them?
I'll give that one to Ife Michelle.
I'm about to say that's a really good question, Ìyá Simone.
I tell you,
so
this is not Oprah, but let me tell you, we getting in at a good point with her. We hit big, we be like, oh, we got the live.
So
okay, sorry,
no. I'm just thinking. So the question is, who are our ancestors and why do we venerate them? Correct?
Yeah.
So your ancestors are. I mean, we all have ancestors, right? Your ancestors are those from which you descended. So anyone that you are a descendant of is your ancestor. However, there are individuals that you have not descended from that you still venerate because they're still ancestors. So ancestors are those who transitioned, right? And so the belief is that, you know, despite the fact that they are in the land of they've crossed over, right? And we are still in the land of the living, so to speak. The veil is very thin, and that they continue to provide us support on a daily basis. They continue to help to guide us. They continue to help to support us through our daily activities. And one of the reasons why is because as ancestors and as we are their descendants, they're very much invested in us. They're invested in their lineage. They're invested in those in which came from them. And sometimes, not all the times, it depends on, you know, the ancestor and their transition and their elevation. You know, sometimes once they transition, they're able to provide us with a different level of support. You know, sometimes when they're here, you know, in body form, there were certain limitations, right? Or there may have been certain experiences that didn't allow them to be as supportive of us. Once they transition, then, you know, it provides them with sometimes opportunities to be able to continue to support us in different ways. And so the idea is that because we stand on the shoulders of our ancestors, we are to venerate them. We are to honor them. We are to uplift them. We are to, you know, live the lives that they were not able to live. And so, you know, that is why, you know, it is important to venerate our ancestors, especially when you're doing spiritual work.
Yeah.
Especially when you do Orisha work, you know, because a lot of times people want to jump straight into Orisha. Yeah. You know, they want to skip over all their ancestors and they want to know if they're Chala Oshun or Chala Shango, right? But it's important to know first who you're connected to, you know, by blood, and give them their position before you expand into anything else. So ancestral veneration is of utmost importance.
You know, for me, growing up in Barbados, I was baptized in the Anglican Church. And, you know, these things are not practiced. And it's only until I migrated to the US and I landed in New York and I attended Medgar Evers College that I fully start to understand what ancestral veneration meant. So the first, or is it the second Saturday of June, Medgar Evers College in New York hosts an event called Tribute to Our Ancestors. And it is held in Coney Island, Brooklyn, every year. And when I was going to school there, this is something that, you know, you had to do. This was part of it, right? And so it was only from there I started to understand. I was like, oh, this is a thing. Like, this is something that Black folks need to do, right? And so, and at that time I had, this gift had not presented itself. My gift had not manifested. But it just goes to show that from then at 21 years old, Spirit was already preparing me for the work that I'm doing now. Because all I used to do is to go down there and say prayers and drop some flowers or whatever was there. But when I look back at that, attending that event every single year religiously was preparing me for the work that I'm doing now. And then you were in a space of, you know, of some giants at that time in African traditional practices. We had, and this is people that you would know, but within the circle at that time, we had Dr. Mary Umalu and Dr. Zara Chandler, and at the school, I mean, she never used to attend, but at Medgar Evers College was also Dr. Betty Shabazz, Malcolm X's wife. Mm. So when you're in that space and surrounded by these giants, you had no choice, right, but to recognize who you were as a Black person, right? With your descendants coming out of Africa. They reminded you every single day, right? So it was just enlightening for me that, you know, my journey really started when I migrated to the United States of America and attended Medgar Evers College. And sometimes I'm able to see some of those folks. I mean, some of these professors now, some of them have passed on or they're retired. But if, you know, I'm in the neighborhood and I see something that reminded me of them, I remember those times. And walking in those halls, I always being reminded, Simone, you're standing on the shoulders of your ancestors. Do them proud. Finish your paper, right? You're standing on the shoulders of your ancestors. Do them proud. Graduate on time. Get to class on time. You know, I had some of these women who knew that my parents weren't around, that I was a foreign student. And they used to speak to me like they were my mother. These older women would check me in a minute. Where's your jean pants have holes in them? Right? And to me, I could hear my grandmother saying the same thing. And I'm like, wait, is this my grandmother or is this? So even from in those spaces, you have your ancestors showing up and talking to you and pushing you and directing you in where you need to be. And I don't care, you know, how many titles you got, is please honor your ancestors.
You can't get far if you don't.
Correct.
You can't get far.
Yeah.
And it don't matter how many initiations you have, because when the more initiations you have, the more they're gonna want you to honor them, because they're the ones initiations possible.
Correct. I remember when I was getting initiated, they were so heavy on me at the time. So heavy. And when everybody was getting that, oh, they got to come back, get initiated, or the Oshun, and this body, next body, they got to. None of that came up for me. Everything was just Egun. Everything was just Egun. I left Africa. When I went there with Egun, came back with Egun stronger.
Listen, I'm telling you.
Yes.
They send you to go get the initiations and do the work so they could be stronger.
Yes.
And they could be more proud.
Yes.
So then they show up more. Because I've already told you, I think I've told you before, Iya, and I've said it before, that even after I became initiated as a priest, I came back all excited thinking I had my crown, I good. And Egun quickly told me,
yeah, I remember you saying that.
That crown is nice. But with you, Egun first, Egun second, and Egun third.
Yeah.
I didn't have no choice. They quickly checked me. And no disrespect to the crown I have. No disrespect. But they quickly let me know. So to go back to your question, that this is why it is important, especially if you're doing spiritual work.
Yeah.
You must give them their place.
And a lot of things that that have been put in place for this ancestral experience, I have also learned sitting at the feet of elder women, spiritual women. I have. And my spiritual mother, Dr. Vonnie Jean, a lot of the stuff that I know, I learned onto her. My spiritual mother who just passed, Mother Edwards, I sat at her feet. And this woman just was teaching me. So the other part of that is to try and sit with these elders and learn, because they're rolling out. And it doesn't make sense for them to be here and you're not learning, especially if they are willing to teach you. If I see an elder at all anywhere, quiet, and spiritual thing going on, I find myself sitting as close to them as possible. And I'm watching and I'm observing and I'm listening. What they're saying, yes, what they're saying and what spirit is telling me. You see, when she do this, and this, that's what this, and this means. This work that we're doing ain't just gonna pop out to nowhere. We had to sit at our elders too while listening to our ancestors.
And you couldn't be on social media trying to learn anything. I didn't learn anything from the social. There's no social media.
None.
There was no internet to go on Google Google anything. You had to learn from the people.
Learn.
Right.
Telling somebody the other day, when we have rituals in Spiritual Baptist Church, there's one called morning where you shutting for days. And I would leave work. If I'm not mourning, I would leave work, get there at the church, put on my blue dress. That's where you have to work in. Tie up my head. And I go in and clean the toilets. I go and clean the toilets. I am making none of this up. I go in and clean toilets. I go in and scrape candle grease off the bed, off the floor. I go in and sweep with the cocaine broom. That's what they call it, right? Those brooms with the straws. You know what I mean, yeah? Man, I gotta show you a picture. And they put like a can at the top to secure it.
We probably have a different name for it.
I'll save
and
the
I don't know what the name is, but I'm gonna find out for you. I'll ask my friend.
You take the little, you know when they have those palm leaves and it has that piece of branch in the middle of it, is that where you got a bunch of those? I'll send a picture to you. And I had to sweep the floors with that, wash dishes, clean up the kitchen, keep the place clean, take people to the bathroom because your head all bandaged up and everything, you can't see anything. Take them to the bathroom, give them water, spend hours laying down with them. It's a lot of work, but I was learning.
Somebody said cocaine bloom.
Yes. They probably call it something else.
Okay.
In the Virgin.
Thank you, Torian 16.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture. All of that I had to do. Make bush tea.
Escoba de paja.
That's what it's called?
Spanish, yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the learning aspect to spiritual work is important and is humbling. Because I live in corporate America in the US and I come to clean toilets. Hell yeah. Because that's where my blessing coming from. So I can keep wherever I got, work, job, apartment, everything. That's what it is. I don't sugarcoat these things. I know some folks, these younger people, they know about that. Everybody wanna, get the fast way for it. And if you think that's what's gonna work for you, so be it. But I know to be in this space, I had to spend a lot of time with talking to my ancestors, but also sitting at the feet of my elders. Yeah, he said he remembers doing that for revivals. Share apprenticeship and stewardship is golden. Yes. And you up all hours of the night. Because them older people, and then what we will call is tarrying. They taking care of people, the drumming going, the singing going, and all night. I have to make sure the tea is hot for somebody who needs something to drink. The bathrooms clean when people coming in and out to using them. That's the part of the work too. Right? So I'm saying all that to say I had to go back to my memories of that work, how to make the bush tea, how to make the bush bath, how to make the smoke rituals. I had to go back to all. Spirit said to me, Simone, remember this, remember that. This is how you're going to do this. This is how you're going to do that. So this experience can unfold. We take our work very seriously. I have to take it seriously. If not, Ife, Michelle would not be working with me. Right? Because there's an accountability part. And I'm saying all of this because Spirit is telling me in choosing the spaces you're going to learn, you have to use your discernment and ask questions to be wise. This is why I say when you ask us anything about this ancestral experience, we can answer. We can answer.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm very transparent with the vendors you're going to be seeing and working with, and you're able to see who is who and who is not who. There's no surprises. Only when you get the gift bags. Right?
Yes, yes. The lovely gift bags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're using the same color we did in October because I had ordered extra.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more of them there. And we're not getting candles this year. This time we're getting fans.
Nice.
Right? Because of that heat. Yeah, Barbados is very hot. The rooms have AC. The bedrooms only have AC. So you'll be comfortable. But sometimes there's a lovely sea breeze blowing and you don't need the AC. If some folks been sleeping with their doors open, I ain't doing all that.
I
But
but
you sleep
yeah,
with your door open, yeah.
I wanted to, but there was
I am about the bus.
the wood slaves them. Those wood slaves that come out at night.
Yeah. But I ain't too about the bugs, right? But some folks sleep with their doors open. Some you wake up early in the morning, somebody's laying out by the pool sleeping. If you want to go in the pool, that's fine. Um, but everything has to be all white, including your swimsuit. Men are welcome to join us. This is not, although our last two sessions have been a bunch of females, men are welcome to join us. We need some male energy in these spaces too. Because your ancestors want to talk to you too. Right? So don't be afraid to think, oh, this is a big woman thing. Nobody watching nobody and watching no face. We need you to encourage your husbands, your boyfriends, your brothers, your fathers to come.
Yes.
We'll take care of you too. You may even go back a little heavier from all the food you'll be eating.
The food, and we should have Dana here one of these days
Yeah, I'm
to come.
thinking that we should schedule a live with Dane. Maybe we could split a live with Dane and a live with Lana.
Yes.
Right? We can talk about
the love that Dane puts in his food. The love, it's the love. The food is amazing.
Yeah. And everything is fresh.
Yes.
And tasty. Mm-hmm. Right?
And healthy.
And healthy. Yes. That part. My dad, he gives us a bottle of fresh coconut water. That's his gift to me for you guys. He gives us he has one of his employees deliver the bottles of coconut water. So I encourage you guys to drink that. The snacks are fruit. The first time I give snacks as peanuts, but people didn't really eat them. So I just forgot about that. But the snacks you have are fruit, and we try to make the fruit as local as possible. So whatever is in season is what you're going to get. Right? And we have bottles of water. The water in Barbados is safe. It is fine. But we know some people, get a little funny with it. So there's bottles of water there that you can use. Each room has a little kitchenette. If you want to bring your own snacks or anything like that, feel free to do that.
Bring your own.
Bring your own what? What did you say?
Coffee.
All right. Well, yeah. Ia brings her own coffee because she's a coffee drinker. But part of the rituals too is that you make your own bush tea. So some herbs that we have there, I encourage everybody to make their own tea to last them for the 4 days because that's what you could be drinking. Yeah. The ritual I spoke about earlier called Morning on the Spiritual Baptist, that's where I got that concept from. Because they have this massive pot, in the kitchen, and it's just filled with a bunch of herbs, and it simmers there for 7 days, 6 nights. and that's all you are drinking and water, 3 sips of water. But then you have that hot beverage to drink each time. So that's where I got the concept of you making your own bush tea, and that's what you drink. We don't have the meals heavy. So you're not going to have rice and peas and beef stew or lamb stew and a sweet potato. And then when you finish eat, you can't function. You get ethnic fatigue. The meals are very light, very tasty, and we encourage you to take small portions because by the time you finish lunch, dinner is already rolling around. So you're never hungry.
Never hungry, you know.
You're never hungry. Yeah. When we go over to the West Coast, we're going to this new restaurant. It's not new. It's been open now maybe 2 years or no, a year. It's called the Local Barbados. And what they have done is they will take the local foods and add a little twist to it in terms of how they prepare it. So I spoke to them today to confirm, and then as we're closing out, getting closer to the retreat, I will send them the dietary restrictions. So it will be lunch and also non-alcoholic beverages. So we're having mocktails, right? And we'll stay there until sundown. And as sundown is about to happen, because we'll be on the West Coast and we'll be, be able to see sundown from there, we will do a sundown meditation. So everyone will just find a spot there at the shore again, and they will do their meditations or say their affirmations or say their prayers as the sun goes down. And then we head back up to the resort for dinner. Aisha say you're never hungry.
No.
And she says she still drinks her tea every now and again. Look at the cat here.
You think he's an ancestor?
I didn't know it's only one cat you have.
One.
I didn't know
this cat
was white.
This cat is 4 and 1. I can only have him.
I was given a black cat.
He's completely white with 1 blue eye and 1 green eye.
You kidding?
Mm-hmm.
What is the cat's name? That's Natalia, mommy. What is the cat's name?
Coda.
Coda?
Mm-hmm.
Coda. Hi, Denicia. Thank you, Denicia, saying we look lovely and the ancestors are rejoicing. Yes, I can feel it. I can feel it. All right. Tesha, is there anything else you want to ask us?
Yes. So can ancestral veneration coexist alongside religion? So by religion, we're talking Christianity, Islam, etc.
Well, the way how the Christians honor Jesus, I will call that ancestral veneration. The way they honor Mary, I will call that ancestral veneration. The way they honor the saints, I have a camera here, mommy. Yeah, the door locked. It's okay. Everybody done see you like a zillion times. Sorry.
Yeah. Tell mommy we said good night.
They said good night, mommy. She said good night. So to me, everybody doing it. When the Muslims talk about Muhammad, when Rastafarians talk about Selassie, they venerate their ancestors too. I know somebody will come on here and be like, is she serious? As a heart attack? It's the same thing. But when we do it, it's demonized. We are. Hold on. Okay, mommy. We are, ostracized. But it's all the same thing. I just ask that we respect each other. Bottom line. I can roll up in anybody's church at any time. I respect their space. My grandmother was a Christian. Both my grandparents were Christians. And when I honor them in that spirit. If I play music for them, I playing gospel music, I playing hymns. My ancestral table has the Bible on it. I'm not going to disrespect my grandparents by bringing something else into their space that doesn't speak to who they are. I'm not going to do that. She was a Christian, diehard one too. And let me tell you something. You can go into that same Bible and pull out some serious affirmations. Though I walk through the valley and the shadow of death, I fear no evil. But you could do with me after I say that. Exactly. It's no joke. When they talk about the enemies, when I think there's another part, watch me by the shadow of death, fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before my enemies. That's a serious piece of affirmation there.
The whole of Psalms.
Yes, the whole book, Proverbs too. A friendship I had just ended because I had to pull them up on that. They were being very disgusting in terms of their reference to Christianity. And I says, you can not agree with some of the premises of the way these people worship or whatever the case may be, but there's no need to be disrespectful with it too. Because let me say this, right? Our ancestors took Christianity and do what they had to do with it to survive. That's why we are here. Some of them same hymns, some of them same psalms, some of those same proverbs is what they used to keep their spirits at a high vibration. Think about it. When they're in them fields, whether they're picking cotton, whether they're cutting cane, whatever they're doing, them singing them hymns.
That's what kept them going.
That's what kept them going. That's what kept them going.
That's why
Who am I? That's why we're here. Who am I to say I can change that for them? Who am I to do that? So, Natalia, your mom is calling you. Yeah. Yeah. So we have to understand that aspect of it as well. And what that means. Yeah, you were saying something.
No, I was just nodding and agreeing with everything what you were saying.
Yeah. That's it. I read a lady a few weeks ago, and she was frustrated because she was trying to get some stuff done and it wasn't going through. And she telling me, she says, Simone, I burned sage and I burned this. And then as she's talking and telling me she's burning this, she's burning that. Someone said, well, I don't know why she's doing that because that is not of her. Her people didn't want that.
If you had a post about that the other day, I actually made a note of that post, if I can find the quote. Before you place an ancestor on your table, listen. Are they ready? Is that what you desire? They will let you know. Some wish to be remembered differently. Through the fulfillment of your every dreams, your acts of kindness, your unapologetic healing, or your radical love of self. You are the table for which they are honored.
That's it.
No, that came to me everything that I post comes from spirit. I don't post just to post. If I post something, it's because spirit says, tell the people them, right? And that particular post, I was standing in front of my ancestor table, saying my prayers. And I have a cousin who transitioned, Ibai Bai Tunu. She transitioned last year. And I've been wanting to put her on my table. And when I was saying my prayers, I heard her say, not yet. I don't need to be here right now. That I wish to be right now. And so that is what then, and then after she said that is where I received that download that I shared on Instagram. But she wanted me to honor her in the way that I live for now. She didn't want to be on my table yet. So sometimes you're ready because you're thinking that's what they need. But in reality, they might have other plans.
Yeah. Yep. And I had to remind this person, you need to go back to how your people practice. And this was a white woman. Well, she was mixed, but you know, though that side of her was coming very strong. Very, very, very strong. And it says, you know, you need to honor that. Do you burn in this sage and all this kind of thing? They're like, what the hell is this thing she doing? They want their action first before you go into anything else. So you know, this is topics too that come up when we sit in our workshops or when we're just you know, in our little groups, you know, because sometimes organically too, groups form during the weekend. No, which is a funny thing, eh? Because it is stated there is no communal eating, right? And Spirit was very clear with me with that. When I said there's no communal eating, meaning that you do not have to sit at every meal with the group. If you choose to take your food and go back to your room and eat it, or go in the back of the hotel and sit by yourself and eat it, you're free to do that. And I've made that pretty clear in the documents. Because, you know, sometimes you go to these places and you all have to sit and eat together. That is not the case. But there's hardly, for the two retreats we've had, everyone still sits together and eat. Not so here.
Every single meal.
Every single meal.
Every
Although they know, even if someone walks away, because some people might, well, I don't want to make it seem as if I'm antisocial. And that's why I put it in the document up front. If you don't want to sit with us, you do not have to.
right.
The Spirit might want you to sit by yourself and eat with them. And that's okay. But for once the group gets together, they all sit and eat together. It never fails.
That's the ancestors that want to sit and eat together.
Yes.
Want to and break bread and
yes
and chat and yeah.
Because everybody starts to feel comfortable and safe.
Safe.
And safe.
Right.
And let me say this, and knock on wood, we have never had any kind of clash.
No drama.
No drama. None. For the two
and not to say,
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And not to say that if anything was ever to come up, you know, we are prepared to manage it, right? It's not, perfection is not expected. Like, things happen. However, that has been the case. Yeah.
Yeah.
Been seamless.
Yes. No drama. And it's because when you get there too, you realize, okay, I'm at ease. Your mask, if you're wearing one, starts to just lower itself. Because you realize everybody's there for the same reason, for the same thing. And that is the focus. We've had people come back to new job offers, new homes, new relationships. Stuff come around the corner that they have to deal with. Challenges show up, and they have the tools in place and how to manage the energy. Don't underestimate the work we do, because it's all spiritually aligned.
Somebody said better health.
Yes.
Ashe.
Yes.
It rolled by real quick, so I think it was Sonia.
Yes. Yes. Well, she got her story to tell. That first ancestral experience was mind-blowing in itself. But that's not my story to tell. That's someone else's story. And in her due time, she would speak to that. All right, so we are like 22 minutes over the time. Did I miss anything, Ia?
No, I don't know if there's any questions. I know
Yeah.
Tisha's been asking questions. I don't know if anyone had questions. I've been trying to kind of read some of the comments.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I've been to something like that before. Oy. And it disappeared. The ancestors are powerful. Yes, they are. Soul Tarot 504. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you guys are interested in this ancestral experience, please go to my website, readingsbysimone.com, and click on events, and it will pop up there for you. If you're here on IG right now, if you go to my profile, there's a link. You click on that link, and there's a button right there that will take you straight into the website with the information. It has everything there. There is a payment portal there. You can pay everything through there. It's so wild, right? But like with each ancestral experience, we're growing. Like there's a new thing added on, and there's improvement. And one day I had to really give myself a pat on the back for that, because in a short space of time, I've been able to just move this experience to a higher and higher, and make it easier for me too in terms of the preparations. Spirit is talking to me right now, and some of you are on the fence about this. Sit with your ancestors and ask them a question. There is a payment plan. Don't spend the tax returns on things you don't need. If you think this is an experience that will do good for you, take that money and pay to come to Barbados and be with us.
An investment.
And it's an investment. It is an investment. I kid you not. You will not leave the same.
Yeah, I'm sorry. People, you're getting all these compliments, and the people are saying how much love and intention you put into this, how the ancestors love you. That Simone, you should get more than a pat on the back. Someone said my grandmother loves her. You getting all, so I had to stop you so you could hear what people say about you. What the people are saying about you.
Thank you.
Yes, they're giving you your flowers.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. This is group 1.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first
No.
group. Oh,
Mother. Simone's mother.
Yes. Thank you. You know, there's something I had to really embrace, being called that, because I was like, wow. I think the first time somebody said it, I was like, oh, is that me? Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Sending million hearts for this.
Yeah.
Simone is amazing.
Yeah.
I know Simone from like, oh God, what?
7.
My whole life has changed.
Kahlua Queen. Kahlua Queen, you should really consider coming to this retreat. You really should consider it.
Look, all these people say they're your children.
Yes.
You got lots of children.
Oh, hi, Carmen. Well, this for 2023 so far, we're only doing it one time, and that's in May. I'm pleading with the ancestors not to let me do it twice, because it's a lot of work. You know, we carry a lot of work, and then myself and Io, we have to take time afterwards to really recover, and we asked for help. And that's how we got Ìyá. I haven't seen her pop up. We got Ìyá Josephine to help us. And she was at the, she was a participant in the October retreat. And we're going to have her on here at some point. And Spirit just said, you asked for help. They look at it right there. I'm pointed to her. And then it was like, wow. And then I had a conversation with Ìyá Ife, and she was like, I was like, this is what Spirit is saying. She's like, yes. Yes.
But of course. Yeah.
Ìyá Josephine is the three of us on the Three Musketeers. We are so ready for this work. And we are ready.
So when you come into Barbados, there she is. But where's her picture? Let me pull out the picture and show everybody the picture. Got a picture under me.
I know wherever she is, though, she's behind there screaming like, "Oh my God, no, they're not." So, Ìyá Josephine, wait, say that you'll join us now. How about that? Don't tell me anything about your hair. Find a piece of cloth and wrap up your hair, because I hear you say, "Oh, I'm not." I can hear her now saying it. Oh, I'm not ready. So Earth Walk is Ìyá Josephine. I think her name is, her initiation name is Ifasake. I pronounced that correctly, yeah?
I believe so, yes.
Yes. So she is going to be joining us in May. And listen to me, I am so excited for the three of us to be working together, because I know it's going to be dynamite. Because she is no joke when it comes to connecting with spirit. Somebody just said to me, whispered to me, they can do a documentary on the three of y'all. Someone just
get ready.
And the work that we're doing. Hey, someone just whispered that.
When you're in, I'm sorry, should I be reading these, or Tesha, should I let you read them?
I can't see the questions.
Carmel Beauty. Oh, that's Dominique.
Yeah.
Can you see the questions, Tesha?
Yeah, when
No,
you are,
either.
you give a name, or you choose a name for yourself. You're given a name. You don't choose your name.
Yeah, they divine and determine what name that the Orisha or the spirit wants for you, and that's the name that you're given.
That's the name that you're given.
So I had asked Tesha when she come into Barbados. As she sips her tea.
And because
I was saying to Ìyá Simone today, Spirit has had me working this month, Ìyá Ife, so who knows, it might be on the card sooner than I think.
Yes, yes. Well, I'm looking forward to meeting you in person.
Yes. Well, we have to go up to her site to do something too. Well, you said that, Ìyá, that, and that was told to me as well, that we have to go to the UK to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of positioned that for 2024. Yeah. So obviously after Barbados. But yeah, we want to do, and I want to do the US Virgin Islands as well. We need to touch your soil. Yeah. And I need to read back.
My granny. That's my granny telling me that we need to touch her soil. That's what that's
so we
telling
can
me that right now.
that for 2024 too, for May 2024. We just go over there, and I will have to take a trip though, just to look at spaces, and that will have to be this year. So I'm going to plug that in there. Are you going this year? Well, you could tell me that offline. But
somebody said in the Carolinas.
Yeah, and the Carolinas. Yeah, Donicia, we had discussed too. South Carolina.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody asking with Orishas, and so the ancestral gathering is we don't specifically do any Orisha work. If that was a question on whether we do Orisha at the, we are initiated, but we are not doing Orisha work at this particular gathering that Ìyá Simone is hosting.
We don't do Orisha. It's all strictly focused on ancestors. I mean, the Orisha showed up too, they missing the beat. But there's also this energy of it seems to me too, of like a respect in knowing that this is something else happening, but they're there for support, if you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they show up in different ways to let us know, well, hey, we're here, but we get, what is the gist,
right?
The gist of this thing. Yeah, the focus of this thing. Yeah. All right. Anything else you wanted to ask, Tesha?
We'll have to do a part 2, Simone, because I do actually have 11 questions for you, and I am mindful that you do need your rest.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I will end with a few shameless plugs. Simone has a 7-week course called Spirituality and Your Ancestors. You can get all that information on her website. If you click the link in her Instagram bio, it will take you to that page. For those of you who joined late, EFA Michelle is a published author. Go to the link in her bio to purchase her book, and it is available in the UK as well.
I wanted to say something about the book. So I have to schedule. I've been talking with people behind the scenes about timing. I have to schedule a time because we're going to do a conversation about EFA's book, but she's not going to be in the conversation. She'll be in the audience. So I'm gathering a group of folks who've read the book, and Tesha, we have to talk about this because of course you have to help me moderate it. But I'm gathering some folks who've read the book, and we're gonna discuss the book. We're gonna do it on IG Live. But Faye is not gonna be talking. She's just gonna listen and hear the feedback and the impact that the book has had on her readers. I have one client, when she books me, she refers to she has the book there, and she's like, okay, Simone, this is what I was experiencing, and she talked about this in the book, so I want to talk about it. The book is actually there in the middle of the reading, right? So I'm still working on figuring out the dates, but we're going to do that, and then at a later date I'm going to do a second interview with her about the book. So Tesha, remember that for me. All right, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, as you were speaking, I was thinking that as you were speaking that Tesha's ancestors are so happy that she's here.
Yes.
And totally unrelated. Well, not really, because the book was inspired by my ancestors, but yeah, Tesha, people, they're happy.
Yes. She's going to do well. And here why is going to even get better for her. She's doing the work. This is part of the work.
Exactly.
This is
that part right there.
Yes. This is part of the work.
This is the work. Just like
work.
Talking about washing dishes and scrubbing toilets, and I mean, it's all, you don't even realize that you're doing the work,
Yes. Someone was asking about the book again. Mentioned the name and show the book again. I think Carmen was asking.
It's called Divine Reflections at the Crossroads. and it's available in Ìyá Ife's bio on her Instagram page.
Yeah. Yes, the link is in my bio. It's available on Amazon.
Yeah.
For now, until further notice, Amazon. But thank you. I think I saw someone. I think it was Baba Oludare. Thank you, bendición.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Oh, look who just joined us. Tesha. Atu Official. Did I pronounce that correct?
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
Yes. Hi. How are you? So Tesha had me in tears for my birthday because she gifted me a brick with my name on it.
Yes. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So Tesha, you go ahead, because the young lady who is handling that project, I hope she's still here. She just joined, so I want to give Tesha the opportunity to talk about. Yeah, she's still here. She said hi. So Tesha, you go ahead and talk about. Yeah, go ahead. This is so exciting.
So I met Atu at a spoken word event called Melanation, and it was a combination of Black poets, spoken word artists. There were accountants there, and Atu did a presentation on the work that she's doing out in Ghana. When she goes, she doesn't go for a week or 2 weeks. She's out there for months at a time. So she's managed to build up really good relationships and business connections over the year. One of the projects she's got going on at the moment is, if you donate to her project, you are able to have a name of your choice engraved onto a brick. What's particularly special about the brick is that it's used in whatever project they've got going on at a time. So if that's building a school, your brick is then part of that living legacy of ancestral veneration and honoring our elders.
That's beautiful.
So I'm brick.
So your name is on a brick.
Name is on
in Ghana.
Yes. Can you imagine? And I haven't gotten there yet.
Yes, you acted. Of course, I can imagine. You acting like this is so. This is just the beginning. It's just the beginning, though.
I know. When I saw it, I was like, "What is she doing? What is this?" And then when I read the certificate, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so amazing." And I posted everywhere about it, and people had been asking me, "Simone," like I went out to dinner with a friend of mine. She was like, "Simone, the brick. That had me in tears. The brick had me in tears." It was such a moving tribute, and it was a lesson for me too, because I had planned, and I'm going to say this publicly, I had planned to not really celebrate my birthday that big, because I was going to celebrate someone else's birthday, right? I was going to celebrate a milestone for them. And they didn't want me to celebrate with them. So, and then all this stuff started to unfold for my birthday and for me, right? I decided to gather some of my friends together. It was an intentional invitation, and you know, hire some people and expose their work, and had a nice little event here at my mother's house at the table that I grew up with, eating family dinners, which mommy has decided now she's bringing it back into the living room. I mean, there has been a lot of things happening with my birthday. And then this brick that is in Ghana. And Spirit said to me, "You will never, ever put yourself on pause and celebrate you and not celebrate you. You won't do that again." So I said, for next year, for my 49th birthday, which will be my last year in my 40s, I'm going to Ghana to see my brick. And I want all to come with me. Right? Well, Ìyá, you coming, so
that's next
you
year.
coming with me.
Next year,
Here,
January 7th.
yes, you're coming with me. Don't worry about anything else. You're coming with me, right? So, and you know how big I am with birthdays. In October it was Iya's birthday. We had a cake for her and the whole. See me smuggling a cake into the taxi, so she would know. But for my 49th birthday, I have put it out to the ancestors in the universe. I want to be in Ghana to see my break, right? And I too, I don't know why I'm struggling with my words. I think I'm getting emotional. We will meet up in Ghana, right? Iya Josephine, you're coming too. Give thanks. So we are going to meet up in Ghana, and the three of us, Iya Ife, Iya Josephine, y'all are getting breaks. We are all getting breaks. Whoever else is coming, y'all get breaks. So I told you better make sure them people got enough cement for every. Make sure they have cement. They can get cement from Nigeria. That billionaire, he owns a cement company. I can't remember what his name is. But anyhow, make sure there's enough cement for everybody. We all getting bricks, and it is a celebration. Or maybe this year I'll give you and Iya Josephine bricks, so we all go and see our bricks in January. There's so much in store for us, and I am grateful that I am surrounded by this energy, because it sustains me and it keeps me moving and going, and I appreciate both of you. And I'm going to allow Iya Ife to say her closing out, and then Tesha say her closing out, and I'm going to save this live so it will be on my my feed.
On your page.
And ladies will discuss the next one, and I'll see if we could bring Dane and Lana in so they can talk about what they'll be doing. In the meantime, we'll be working on Iya Josephine. Ha, 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 ha. Okay, Iya.
So I just want to say thank you to everybody that joined this evening. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to share in our experiences, and appreciate all of you. I'm looking forward to the third group that we'll be having in May. As Iya said, even before the group convenes, there's ancestors giving messages and giving direction and letting us know how to prepare. So that is already happening. So looking forward to meeting all of you that decide to make the visit, make the trip and visit us and spend some time with us. So thank you so much, Tesha, for being here with us this evening again.
Thank you, Tesha. You want to close us out, Tesha?
Yeah, sure. I give thanks to the ancestors for posturing me to share space with Ìyá Simone and Ìyá Ife. I thank you both for always speaking love into me. I thank you both for trusting me to sit in these spaces with you. And I'd like to close out with your book, if I may, Iya.
Okay, thank you.
My faith. Faith is believing that all is designed for you is as present as your heartbeat. The faith that resides within you will reveal itself when you are ready to believe. Believe in you first. Believe in your power. Doing so allows it to ignite with the power of that which guides you. This belief will expand beyond you and communicate to the universe that you are ready. It will take shape and become the air that fills you. It will provide you with the vitality of life. When you have faith, you are able to transcend. It is what motivates you in the quiet moments. It speaks to you when answers are needed. Faith sustains you. Faith guides you. And on that note, I thank everyone for joining us. Please do watch the replays as well. And connect with Ìyá Simone and Ìyá Ife across all their platforms. Good night.
Good night. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tesha.
Thank you.
Yeah, much love. Many
Bye, everybody.
Bye.